Ableism is used when we discuss discrimination of disabled people. When we want to specifically discuss discrimination against deaf people, we call it audism. Using what you know about discrimination, try determining why the following scenarios are audist. Play and pause when needed before I discuss them. Two friends, one deaf, one hearing, are having a conversation on campus. The deaf friend is retelling an event from the night before. They are being expressive, role-shifting, and giving clear details about what happened. The hearing friend notices people keep looking over at the two of them and eventually asks his friend to tone it down, stating, "Your facial expressions are making other people uncomfortable." Scenario number 1 is an example of audism because it asks the deaf person to change for hearing people's comfort. Asking the deaf person to tone it down is telling the deaf person their language and culture need to change. It emphasizes how hearing people want deaf people to change to make them feel comfortable by refusing to allow deaf people to use their language. It also puts an asterisk on their relationship as the hearing person will not respect the deaf person, their language, or their culture in certain scenarios. A deaf person calls a theater using VRS, virtual relay services, and asks the theater if there are any nights when an interpreter would already be present. The theater informs them that there are no nights with an interpreter scheduled. The deaf person asks if they can purchase a ticket and request an interpreter. The theater says they are welcome to purchase a ticket, but they do not know any interpreters to hire. Then they say that if an interpreter is really needed, the deaf person can purchase a ticket for them and bring their own since they are more experienced with finding them. Scenario number 2 is an obvious example of audism and is illegal. Remember, the Americans with Disability Act requires reasonable accommodations must be provided to the disabled person. Therefore, the theater cannot force the burden onto the deaf person to find accommodation. Second, accommodations are also at the expense of the business, and therefore the theater cannot ask or require the deaf person to pay. In addition, the deaf person did call using VRS, and thus, the theater does know of an interpreting business. Although VRS would not be an appropriate solution for this scenario, it emphasizes hearing people's desire not to find accommodations for deaf people. A class of hearing and deaf students are taking a break during the lecture. People are chatting, talking, and signing when hearing people hear two students telling jokes to each other. All the hearing students are suddenly laughing when a few deaf students notice. One of the deaf students turns to a hearing student and asks, "Why is everybody laughing?" When the hearing student signs back, "It doesn't matter, just a joke. I'll tell you later." Scenario number 3 is a common form of audism experienced by deaf people. This shared experience is often referred to as the dinner table scenario because of how often deaf people experience this type of situation at the dinner table. The hearing student signs how the joke does not matter, but it does in this situation since every hearing person was laughing. It would be different if a small group of students in the back of the room were having a group conversation and only they laughed. However, in this scenario, every hearing person is laughing. Therefore, this is a form of exclusion. A hearing person gives birth to a deaf baby, and they feel anxious, but it is a little alleviated because they know a little sign and a few deaf people. They go to the doctors and start following their instructions. Later they connect with one of the deaf people they know and start telling them about their baby, the baby's deafness, and their doctor's instructions. The deaf person asks why they did not ask them for advice, and the hearing person responds with, "Well, they went to medical school. They have a degree in this." Scenario number 4 is an example of a person believing the hearing "expert" over the real, lived experience and expertise of the deaf person. The hearing person is assuming the hearing person has more knowledge on the subject because of their degree when this is not always the case. Deaf people know the deaf experience best as they live it daily. Hearing people can learn about the deaf experience, but their knowledge comes from deaf people. Some additional scenarios of autism include asking a deaf person to read your lips or write when they have indicated that isn't preferred. Making phone calls for a deaf person since they can't. Assuming deaf people with better speech/English skills are superior. Asking a deaf person to tone down their facial expressions because they are making others uncomfortable. Refusing to explain to a deaf person why everyone around them is laughing. Never mind, I'll tell you later, it doesn't matter. Devoting a significant amount of instructional time for a deaf child to lip reading and speech therapy rather than educational subjects. If you are hearing, it is important to self-reflect and recognize your privileges as learners of ASL. Deaf people do not always have the same luxury as hearing people to learn a sign language. Remember, there are distinct cultural differences between hearing and deaf culture. Keep an open mind and do not judge because their culture is different than yours.